When I started my business back in March of 2020, I had to decide what website platform I was going to use, not just for me personally, but for all of my clients. My goal was to create a system or to use a system that I could keep kind of similar from client to client so that I could manage a lot of different client websites. And so I chose WordPress as my content management system of choice, my website builder of choice. And it's worked out really well. But along the way, over the last few years, I heard a lot of people complain about WordPress. There's a lot of other options out there like Wix and Squarespace, and even some older systems like Weebly are still around. And these are pretty popular systems. And so why would I choose WordPress over one of these other systems? And so that's really what this video is about, is just explaining why. There's obviously different use cases for different situations, and depending on the business, one of those other systems like Wix or even Webflow might be good for a particular business. For my case, for my situation, WordPress is best. So I want to explain really the top 3 reasons why I use WordPress. And the first reason is control. With WordPress, you have total control over the file system and over the database. You can also choose where you want it hosted. You literally control everything about the website. And you can customize with JavaScript and jQuery and PHP and CSS. And I know for those of you who aren't programmers, that might not mean a whole lot, but honestly, for me and for my clients, it's really helpful. There's rarely a time when a client comes to me and says, hey, can we do XYZ on my website, where I say no, because I control the system, where we control WordPress. We can make it sort of do whatever we want. And in a lot of cases, if it is a big request or a big change, there's already a plugin developed for it. And so you'll see them on WordPress.org here, and you simply click Get WordPress and you can download it. You have access. It's open source, right? And if you want to build something custom, you can build something custom based off of the WordPress platform. Also, you've got access to tons of plugins, right? There's free plugins, there's paid plugins. Look what this says, 59,000 free plugins that you can add to WordPress. And a lot of systems like Wix, for example, or even Shopify, you've got add-ons that you can buy and add. And so those systems have kind of borrowed that methodology from WordPress. WordPress has been around a while, but there's so many plugins you can use for WordPress that there's just not a whole lot you can't do. And so it's really important to me and to my clients that they have control of what's theirs. They want to have control over as much as they can in their business. And so if you use another one of these systems, like one of these other hosted platforms, yeah, you have some design control. You can edit, obviously, your content. You can upload your own images and make the site look like you want it to. But at the end of the day, if one of these other companies decides, we want to merge with another company, or we're going to change our policies, or maybe we're going to go out of business, then where does that leave the business owner? You're kind of stuck. You have to do whatever they tell you to do, and you don't have control of your own website. And listen, I've tried to export sites out of those hosted platforms, and we've done it with some success, but it's a lot of work to take that proprietary code and bring it out and convert it to another system. And so it's a big hassle versus WordPress. You can pretty much integrate WordPress into any other system. And so if you ever want to leave WordPress, it's really not that difficult to transfer everything. And that's a big deal if you have 500 blog posts. Like, how are you going to get those out of WordPress? It's pretty easy. You just export it. If you try to get those 500 blogs out of another system, it can be a nightmare. And I've dealt with that. I won't name the specific systems, but they were tough. So the primary reason I use WordPress is for control. I'm able to control things, and I'm able to control things on behalf of my clients. And ultimately, what they have is theirs, right? It's their business, it's their website, their files, their system. So control, number one. Now, the second thing I like about WordPress, and I've kind of already mentioned this, is just flexibility and customization. Right? So we have control, but that also means we can build anything we want to build. Now, I've heard people complain about WordPress being kind of clunky and maybe even being a little bit old-fashioned. Their page builder that's built into WordPress called the Gutenberg page builder, not my favorite. But again, this is where add-ons and plugins and other themes can really help WordPress. And the theme that we chose to use to develop our website and our client's website is called Divi. Now, Divi was created by a company called Elegant Themes, And although they do have other themes, Divi is their flagship, and it is truly amazing. Now, there are a lot of great page builders out there, Elementor and Beaver Builder and WP Bakery. There's a lot of different page builders. They all actually function quite similarly. Divi works a little different, and for our purposes has been the best theme we've used. It's not a plugin, it's actually a theme framework that integrates into WordPress kind of as a separate layer onto what's there, by default in WordPress. Divi functions at a little higher level than some of the other page builders, and so I've really enjoyed using the Divi Builder. There are tons and tons of features inside of Divi that I'm not going to go into all the details here, but just wanted to give you a little glimpse into the back end here. This is our website. This is the home page. It's so simple just to scroll through, and if you want to edit something, you literally click on it. You go to the settings, you edit it, you type whatever you want to type, you save it, and you're done. And there are thousands and thousands of layouts that are already pre-built. So sometimes people complain about WordPress not being able to use the Gutenberg builder, not having a lot of flexibility. They really enjoy a drag and drop builder that some of the other systems offer. It's right here. Elegant Themes. I think I paid a few $100s to get lifetime access to Divi, and that was several years ago. I've made my money back 1,000 times over, and so this is a fantastic setup using WordPress, using Divi, and then there's just a handful of plugins that I use that make WordPress really, really powerful. You'll see here I'm in my plugins, and this is my actual live website. So we use this duplicate page plugin quite a bit. You just simply click a button, can duplicate a page, change the content, and you're up and running in just a few minutes. So it makes it really easy. The Edit Author Slug plugin is awesome because it allows you to do some security things, some little tricky things that keep brute force attacks at bay. Another plugin we use a lot is Gravity Forms. It's like $100 a year. It's a no-brainer. It's an incredible form system. There are other good form systems too. I use WordFence security, and I have a WP file manager here that allows me quick access to the file system in WordPress. So again, it's just a handful of plugins that we use that are really, really good. There's tens of thousands of plugins out there that can make WordPress even more powerful than it already is. So I mentioned flexibility and customizability. It's very easy to jump into the customizer, and just with a click of the button, you can jump in and edit additional CSS. You can add custom code, custom CSS. You can add custom HTML inside the Divi Builder. Very easy to go in and change color schemes and templates. So again, it's a lot. It's like any system that's powerful, there's a lot to learn. But in terms of flexibility and customization, you just can't get better than WordPress if you're going to use a content management system. And so the final reason that we use WordPress as our content management system is for scalability. Now, I have used other systems, and I've actually helped clients move from other systems to WordPress when they have hundreds of pages. So one client, for example, had over 400 pages and had about 120 blog posts. And so that's a lot of pages in post. And what was happening in that other system is things were getting really bogged down. In fact, they were getting warnings every time they would log in that says, hey, you really need to get rid of some of these pages. There's too many. And so WordPress, you'll never get that, right? You can have hundreds or thousands of pages in post and users, and WordPress is never going to say, hey, this is too many, right? Now, you may need to optimize the database. You may need to work with somebody like me that knows what they're doing and can make things work smoothly. You're going to need good hosting. But the reality is you're never going to have some company say, hey, you've got too many posts or too many pages on your website. Again, that goes back to having control. So you can really scale WordPress up to be whatever you want it to be. And that's obviously really important for content marketing because you want to have a lot of posts. You want to have a lot of things on your website that represent your expertise and your experience and your authority and your trustworthiness. And so you want to have a lot of content on your site. WordPress is never going to limit you with the amount of content that you have. And so speaking of content, like how do you optimize all that content for search? Like it's scalable. You can really optimize it for SEO. You can create so much that draws people to your websites and draws the eyes of the search engines to your website. And using plugins like Yoast SEO, and this is the free version I've got on our site, It's so easy to go in and optimize all of your posts, all of your pages, and it does so many things that some of these other systems just aren't going to do. Now, every system has some kind of SEO capability, but I've not seen any system that's as powerful as the free Yoast plugin in WordPress. So again, scalability here on the content side, but also scalability for SEO and content marketing. So again, I could go on and on. I've got a dozen reasons why I really like WordPress, but these are my top three. There's some downsides to WordPress as well. No system is perfect, but the benefits of WordPress far outweigh the disadvantages, the weaknesses of WordPress. So if you have any questions about WordPress and you're trying to figure out, like, what do I do? How do I use WordPress? Do I use another system? Feel free to reach out, post in the comments, ask questions, give me some, well, what about this or what about that? I'm glad to answer some of those things and share some of my issues with WordPress, but also I'm going to try to talk you into using WordPress. And so I encourage you to reach out. Go ahead and like and subscribe. This is a new channel. This is one of the first videos we're making. We're going to be putting out a lot of content about WordPress and about content marketing and about local SEO and just SEO in general. And so let us know the kind of things you need answers to, the kind of things you want to see, and we'll see you in another video real soon.